Maido. Hi there, Japan fans. In today's show, we are going to be talking about how to pull an audience for your talk. Presento Master Shimasho. This is the Presentation Man Series podcast. We are beaming around the world to you from sunny Minato-ku here in Tokyo, and I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guy committed to your success, the president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan, and best-selling author, Japan Sales Mastery and Japan Business Mastery. Through this 4-year-old podcast, I want to help you to become a better speaker who is clear, confident, persuasive, and highly influential with those around you. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn. Unlike many other hosting organizations, Libsyn have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup, 6 days a week. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesday, the Presentation Japan Series. Every second Tuesday, we do the Business Tatsujin no Oshie show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan Series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan Series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcast. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. This is episode number 209, and we are talking about how to sell your presentation to pull an audience. Whether we are asking to give a talk or are asked to present, we need an audience. The onus is on the meeting hosts to take care of the logistics of the venue and the associated tech needed to carry out the presentation. We cannot leave everything to them, though, because our personal brand is tied up with the success of the event. Now, success can be defined in many ways, but having a venue space for 50 people and having 5 people turn up wouldn't strike too many people as a triumph. This would be more like an embarrassment. We naturally want to get our message out to as many people as possible, so we want to maximize the audience size. There are a couple of hooks for us to pull an audience for our talk. A key one is the title of the talk. This can sometimes be a talk title which must be approved by the organisers, or you may be free to choose the one you prefer. If we look at newspaper, magazine, or any media advertising headlines, there is a real skill in getting these titles to grab people's attention. Most speakers are not trained copywriters. They never imagine they need to enlist the help of a copywriter to help with creating the presentation title. So, we are all in the DIY, do-it-yourself, school of speaker copywriting. The best title selection will revolve around a number of factors, such as the content of the talk or the nature of the audience. Think of the title as a hook to snag interest from potential attendees. What title would locate the sweet spot of both appealing to those interested in the topic and a compelling offer to inspire the punters to turn up to the speech? The title cannot be too long, in the same way that headlines are kept brief. How can we get the explanation of the content and the hook into as few words as possible? Last week, I talked about how to use the balloon brainstorming method to create your speech content. The construction of the talk, I explained, starts with the punchline, crafted in as few words as possible in order to drive clarity. I also went through how to create the base content sectors, which are the bones of the talk. Having done all of that, we then create the opening piece. This is there to smash through all the clutter in people's minds when they enter the venue to hear our talk. The title is often best taken from that opening piece. We don't use it word for word, but we look for the strongest hook therein to finally create the talk title. We only have a few words available for that, so each word must really outperform for us. I was recently asked to give a talk, but received no great guidance on the topic. The host wanted to pull an audience, so I thought about what is a common topic that would attract as many people as possible to attend. I chose public speaking because this freaks most people out fairly universally across all cultures, ages, and gender ranges. Find out more when we come back from the break. Today's show is brought to you by our public courses, but we also do custom in-house programs. We do these live online, or we do them in our super safe classroom. We do them in both Japanese and English. Today's show is sponsored by our Dale Carnegie course, Effective Communications and Human Relations 12-week program in English starting on the 5th of November and in Japanese on the 7th of November. On the 6th of November, we are running another in our professional leadership series, this one focusing on coaching your subordinates. Check out our website for details on those programs at enjapan.dalecarnegie.com, and there's also lots of other value for you over there. To do better in Japan, email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com if you like learning by watching videos. We have over 1,000 of you at our channel hosted on YouTube, Japan Dale Carnegie TV. We're releasing 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's the premier business show in Japan, comes out every Monday. Fridays we have the Japan Business Mastery Show. Saturdays we release Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders from SMEs to corporate captains of industry on the topic of leading in Japan. Every second Thursday we release the Business Pro Television Show. Get my book, The Bible on Selling, Japan Sales Mastery, and also Japan Business Mastery. These are both available on Amazon. Welcome back. I also have a lot of experience and am an expert on this topic of public speaking, so I have supreme confidence to talk to an audience about it. This sounds like bragging, but we must have expertise and real confidence to stand up in front of others and pontificate. If you don't have that, then please spare the rest of us the train wreck masquerading as your talk. I used my balloon brainstorming methodology for the content creation. Finally, I had to create the talk title. I had come up with 15 subtopics, which would be too many for the time allowed to cover, so I needed to trim that down. I decided to go with 12 topics because it is a substantial number, but doable in the time granted to me. So, I started out writing possible titles to see if I could find one that would resonate. In the end, I came up with a title using alliteration as a means of grabbing attention. The hook was The Terrible 12, Typical Errors that Presenters Make and How to Fix Them. I was pushing the boundaries on the title length, but I liked the alliteration of The Terrible 12 Typical components in the title. Keywords were typical, 12, terrible, presenters, and fix. Anyone reading that title would have a clear idea of the value of the talk. If they had an issue with presenting, they would feel this would be a talk providing substantial value through its clear coverage of the topic. The next step was to flesh out, in a few sentences, the content of the talk, giving the audience a taste of what will be covered. This will be the text to accompany the title when the hosts advertise the talk. Again, we only have a few sentences to work with because there are always space limitations when advertising the talk. We should have some word count indication from the event sponsors of how much we can say when we are writing this piece. This overview has to reek with value to the audience and should cover the key pain points associated with the topic. Finally, we need a customized bio to go with the talk. It also will have a limitation on length, so only the highlights associated with your being an expert on this subject can be covered. It is not a job application, so don't send in your modified CV. This has to be crafted by you as power text, not a shopping list of bullet points. We want to build our personal brand and establish our credentials to talk on this subject. Remember, many more people will read about you than will ever be able to attend the actual event. This is a free kick, advertising you to the world. So, what do you want people to know about what a legend you are? Did you get value from today's show? If you did, share that around with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast on iTunes. Until the next episode, go out there and apply the learnings from today and become a presentations legend amongst your circle. Thank you for listening, and please tune in next week. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guide, committed to your success here in Nippon.